music students, this is Tami Lee Hughes, and in today's vlog, I'm going to share 4 characteristics of successful musicians. If you ask professionals, how did you get to where you are, you may get many different answers. In fact, I can give you 40 or 50 things on that list, but for today, I've chosen my top 4. The first characteristic of successful musicians is discipline. My favorite quote about discipline is, "Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most." Professional musicians consistently focus on long-term goals, and their actions back that up. Discipline motivates us to practice a little bit longer, to study harder, and to strive for things that other people will not even consider possible. The second characteristic of successful musicians is professionalism. Professionalism, like all the other things I'm talking about in this video, has a major impact on your ability to secure work and to receive invitations to return to work with an organization or a group of musicians in the future. In music, professionalism includes things you probably already know, like being organized, being on time, being prepared for rehearsals and performances, having all the materials that you need, and being able to follow instructions. But in my opinion, the most important component of professionalism is having self-control. I've been in professional ensemble rehearsals and I've seen people completely lose their cool. Sometimes things go wrong. Sometimes we make mistakes, or other people make mistakes and they bother us. Sometimes people say things that we find offensive, or sometimes we're having a bad day or other people are having a bad day and people just aren't in the mood to be nice. There is a way to positively address these challenging situations, and it involves holding your tongue and waiting until the appropriate time to have a calm and civil discussion. In music, having self-control also means that you're able to stay quiet and focused in rehearsals. The third characteristic of successful musicians is they learn from their mistakes. In music, you have to be willing to acknowledge and admit that you made a mistake. This can be very difficult for certain people depending on their background or life experience. But successful musicians know that everyone makes mistakes, and mistakes are a natural part and a very important part of the learning process. The second part is looking for the lessons and making the appropriate changes. I have to confess, I'm not very good at the second part of this, at least not right away. And here's why. When I make a mistake or experience failure, which happens more than people probably even realize, instead of reacting quickly to look for the lesson, I actually am very hard on myself. In my experience, however, I've learned that the quicker I can get to that lesson, the better. So I don't want you to be afraid of making mistakes. Learning from your mistakes can make you stronger and can help you get to your long-term goals. The fourth characteristic of successful musicians is successful musicians are able to interact with others in a positive way. Getting along with others is essential to success because we all need help getting to where we're trying to go. And once we get there, we need to have positive relationships so we can make the most of the experience. Networking is an important part of working as a musician. And in order to build a network, you need a good reputation. In music, this means you're dependable, likable, and trustworthy. Relationship busters in music settings include selfishness, self-centeredness, gossiping, and complaining. Successful musicians really focus on the positive. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there are many more things I could share about the characteristics of successful musicians. But if you can be disciplined, if you can have professionalism, if you can learn from your mistakes, and you can interact with others in a way that is positive, then you are well on your way. If there are things that you'd like to improve on, now is the time to do it. I know you can, and I'm cheering you on. because I want to see you be successful and be the absolute best you can